Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about fasting, the difference between fasting in Islam and in Christianity. Let me take you to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 133 to 134. O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting, as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. A limited number of days. So whoever among you is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days are to be made up. And upon those who are able to fast, but with hardship, a ransom, of, a substitute of feeding a poor person each day. And whoever volunteers good, it is better for him. But to fast is better for you, if you only knew. So, fasting is prescribed, and if you cannot fast because you are ill or on a journey, then you have to make it up later on. Equal numbers of days you lost. And if you are having hard time, then you can feed a poor person instead. That's what it says, basically. Now, Allah has prescribed fasting, but He also creates loopholes. Now, fasting are meant to be only for people who live around Saudi Arabia, modern day Saudi Arabia. So maybe Hijaz, Makkah, Medina, those areas. Because the way Muslim fast is from sunrise to sundown. And these days, Muslim immigrates to Europe and everywhere else. And sometimes the number of the hours of fasting varies because of that. Also because of the month, depends on what month the fasting is. Let's say this year, the fasting in Canada is little shorter because they can eat uh, the, the last time they eat is around after 5 a.m. Now, when to break the fast is much earlier, 6:30 around 6:30 p.m. or something like that. So they fast a little shorter this time. The same thing as Makkah. Let us take a look. The first day, Sahri, or sometimes people say Sahur, is 5:05 a.m. and Iftar is 6:34 p.m. So it's roughly 13 and a half hours of fasting. That's if you do the way Muslims do, if you fast the way Muslims do. Now, I want to show you what break your fast if you're a Muslim. There are 7 things they say. Number 1, intercourse. Number 2, masturbation. Number 3, eating and drinking. Number 4, anything that is regarded as coming under the same heading as eating and drinking. Number 5, letting blood by means of cupping and the like. Number 6, vomiting deliberately. Number 7, menstruation and nifas. Nifas is some women when after they give birth, they're still bleeding. That is nifas. So I guess it's like bleeding postnatal or something like that, right? Now, this will break your fast. But take a look at this. Number 7 here, menstruation. So, menstruation will break your fast. For ladies or women or girls who are menstruating still, it means they are never have a full reward during fasting during Ramadan because they can never finish it. They always have to replace it. Now, I do understand, like the Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 184 says, you can replace it. That's true. But the problem is they call Ramadan is holy month as holy. So to replace the fasting in holy month, if you fast, replace it from the month that is not holy. So I don't know whether you will get the same reward or not. Fasting outside Ramadan is, those months are not holy. So will you get the same reward? I don't know. Because remember, Islam is a religion, reward based religion, right? Because you have to earn certain points to get reward and certain points to go to certain level of heaven or Jannah. So if the women can never finish fasting, then the reward will always be smaller or less. They can never get a maximum reward, right? Now, what about those people who do not fast? Those Muslims who are not fast. Half of the Muslims at work do not fast. Let us take a look from Islamka. Is the answer? As the one who deliberately does not fast in Ramadan, thinking it is permissible to do so, he has become a disbeliever. He should be asked to repent, and if he repents, all well and good. Otherwise, he is to be executed. He is to be executed. Because if you eat and drink, he is to be executed. That's the sunnah. That's the real law. That's the real ruling from Islam. Of course, not everyone will follow this because this is crazy. Right? Too crazy. You kill a person just because he does not fast. Now, but let me show you this. If you break your fast, right, because you eat and drink, you should be killed. That's what it says. But what if you have sex? Let me show you from Surah Sahih al-Bukhari. Hadith number 1936, narrated Abu Hurairah. While we were sitting with the Prophet, a man came and said, "Oh, Allah's Messenger, I have been ruined." Allah's Messenger asked, "What was the matter with him?" He replied, "I had sexual intercourse with my wife while I was fasting." Allah's Messenger asked him, "Can you afford to manumit a slave?" He replied in negative. In the negative. Allah's Messenger asked him, "Can you fast for 2 successive months?" He replied in the negative. The Prophet asked him, "Can you afford to feed 60 poor persons?" He replied in the negative. The Prophet kept silent. And while we were in that state, a big basket full of dates was brought to the Prophet. He asked, "Where's the questioner?" He replied, "I'm here." The Prophet said to him, "Take this basket of dates and give it in charity." The man said, "Should I give it to a person poorer than I?" By Allah, there is no family between its two mountains who are poorer than I. The Prophet smiled till his premolar teeth became visible and then said, "Feed your family with it." So now, this person break his fast by having intercourse with his wife. Now, all the loopholes Allah provided, he cannot do any of them because he cannot manumit a slave. I don't know why. Maybe he needs all the slaves to work. He cannot fast for 2 months in a row. He cannot feed 60 poor persons. And then he said he's the poorest between the two mountains. Now, first of all, I don't want you to get it wrong. You know, let's say in every city or in area, wherever you live, there are an area where rich people live. Let's say there are like 1,000 families, rich, all of them rich, millionaires live in that area. But among those 1,000 families, rich families, there are always one person who are the poorest, quote unquote poorest. Meaning, maybe everybody else they have $5-10 million, and him only has $2 million. So it means he's the poorest. So now I want to get the real situation to be able. I want you to be able to imagine the real situation in this hadith. This hadith doesn't mean the person is living in a shack. Maybe not. You have to remember, Prophet Muhammad always fight wars and then give the bounty to his followers. He get 20% and the rest 80% divided among his followers. So anyone who lived during his time actually pretty rich. So the definition of poor here is not the same as like a homeless or people who live under poverty. It's not necessarily like that. However, I think this hadith is also funny. I don't know why he cannot fast for 2 months in a row because that's really weird. So when you read the whole hadith like this, so it seems like to me, it seems like I don't know if fasting is that serious in Islam because first is you can always uh, substitute it with something else, feeding the poor, and then just not I am the poorest, so I just have to feed my family. That's it. That's that's the thing. And then secondly, when someone does not fast, meaning eating and drinking, that person has to be killed, executed. But this person also does not fast, but he's not eating, not drinking, but he had sex with his wife. And the punishment is totally different. Do you see? That's very strange, right? Now, enough with Islam. Let's go somewhere else to different religion. This time, Christianity. This time, I will take you to. It is about Orthodoxy. How to fast in Orthodoxy. If you're an Orthodox, for example, Ethiopian Orthodox, you fast 180 days. If you're a clergy, up to 250 days. All right? Now, I do understand for other Christians like the Catholics, the Protestants, they fast normally 40 days during Lent. And this also from Orthodox Church, right? Uh, there are few things or several things here you have to avoid while you're fasting: watching too much television, playing too much video games, drinking too much alcohol, overeating, wasting time, using foul language, being rude, devoting more time to extracurricular activities than to church, scripture reading, and prayer. And also, you have to avoid making a show of our fasting. The last thing is not to pass judgment on those who might not fast to the degree you are fasting. Because we know in Christianity, or if you are Christian, you can fast the way suitable for you because you may not be able to fast. Some people are better. I mean, like they can fast like not eating, and for some people they have to eat. Maybe they have low blood sugar, so they can adjust to different degrees of fasting. That's why, right? Now, but when you are fasting, there is one thing you have to do. It is a 24 hours period. So you do not fast for 20 hours. You have to fast for 24 hours. So it's not fasting if you only do it for 13 and a half hours. 24 hours is the requirement to fast. One day and one night. Now, yes, again, there are several different degree of fasting in Christianity. Some people they don't eat at all. Some people they don't eat, but maybe they drink. And again, look at this. Some people they fast from meat and alcohol for 24 hours on Wednesday and Fridays. So you can do fasting however you want it. Now, about fasting. In Islam, you have to watch each other, whether they are other people fasting or not. But if you're a Christian, you don't care about other people. Let us go to Romans chapter 14, verse 3 to 4. Let not the one who eats despise the one who abstains, and let not the one who abstains pass judgment on the one who eats, for God welcome him. Who are you to pass judgment on the servant of another? It is before his own master that he stands or falls, and he will be upheld, for the Lord is able to make him stand. So, as a Christian, we cannot tell people to fast, not to fast. We cannot judge people. And we should not show it, of course, right? This is what Jesus said. When you fast, you gotta make yourself look fresh. Put oil in your hair. Wash your face, right? So you look fresh. So people don't know you're fasting. It's not, sadly, it is not the same if you're a Muslim. Fasting is a totally different thing. And again, I want you to remember in Christianity, fasting is not to get any reward. It is not about reward. It's about to commemorate, just like in Judaism. Let me take you to this website to show you the Jewish fasting. Tisha B'Av. Jewish fast for 24 hours to commemorate the destruction of Holy Temple in Jerusalem. And Yom Kippur is the day of atonement. So that's why you fast. You atone. You. It's about your atonement of your sin. That's why you fast, not to get reward. And this fast of Gedalia to commemorate the violent death of Gedalia. The 10th of Tevet. This fast commemorates the day that Nebuchadnezzar began his siege of Jerusalem. The 17th of Tammuz. This fast commemorates the day that the walls of Jerusalem were breached following several months of siege. So fasting is about commemorating something, not to get any reward. Now, that's the difference between the main difference is the reward. That's because Islam is a reward based religion. That's why. Now, I hope this video is giving you some information regarding fasting, the difference between Christianity and Islam, especially on fasting, and a little bit in Judaism, just to add some information. So you may learn something here. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching and listening. Whether you're a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian, God bless you all. Have a nice life.